Hello and welcome to another episode of Earth911's Sustainability in Your Ear. I'm Mitch Ratcliffe, your host, and this is another innovator interview. We're talking with David Wolff, who is the founder of OceanHabitats Inc. They make a cool product called Mini Reef that fits under docks, particularly along developed coastlines in the southeastern United States. They've installed more than 4,000 mini reefs, and they create an environment for shellfish, small fish, and microorganisms to grow and support recovery of the ecosystem under a dock. David, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, Mini Reefs are a really cool project, and you've got a long history of working to get this out. But first, tell us about what a mini reef is and how it works.
Well, what a mini reef is it's a device, the man-made device, obviously, artificial reef that reproduces. It mimics the environment that you would naturally find in the prop roots of mangrove trees or saltwater marsh grasses, plants along the coastline. And it just kind of helps replicate that nursery habitat where young crustaceans and fish grow up before they head out to their adult stomping grounds.
And so it's kind of a matrix made of a combination of rope and it looks like PVC and other materials that provide the substrate on which the kelp and other kinds of plants can grow, as well as shellfish can attach and start to process water. And that's the other benefit here of the mini reef, is that all of that natural life filters the water. How much water does a mini reef allow to be filtered a day?
Yeah, on average, once it's fully developed, which does take as much as a year for those animals to get on, attach, and grow up to full size, it filters on average 30,000 gallons a day, which is about the average backyard swimming pool.
And with 4,000 of those, that's quite a few swimming pools. Now,
yeah, it's billions and billions of gallons a year.
So you started this back in the 1990s, and it's not easy to have an idea that's ahead of its time. But can you tell us about what happened when you first conceived this and the long road to getting 4,000 of them out?
Yeah, well, this was actually this grew out of a failure. When I was in college, I needed some volunteer hours, and so I went to a research facility that was trying to do ocean ranching. We had the problem of all those filter feeders we already talked about attaching to the units. They got really heavy. It was hard to float them. They also got kind of brittle and could break up in storms, which obviously you have a lot of in Florida. And so, out of that failure, kind of looking at what can we do with all this work that we've done. We had, tons of data on what was working and what wasn't. Mm-hmm. The idea to kind of miniaturize it and put it in a protected area like a man-made canal system where you don't have huge issues with storms kind of came to the forefront. And we started working on that. We were working along those road until, ran out of funding. The idea was
and that was about 1998, I understand. So you worked on this for a few years, and 1998 comes around. You run out of money. You sort of put it on the shelf. What brought it back?
It just died.
Well, so what brought it back? Because you obviously have got it started going again.
Well, I when this failed, I went off into other ventures. I was in the real estate industry for years, and I had an opportunity to sell the businesses I had built across the country. And I was looking for, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Because I was only in my mid-30s, so you can't exactly retire then. And I just thought about, when is a time where I really enjoyed getting up and doing something every day. And I remembered, obviously being in college, doing marine biology, working on this work. When I was 19, I could get up at 4:30 in the morning to go do something, which was nothing else would make me do that. So
yeah, but the older you get, the earlier you get up too. You'll find.
Yeah, that's true. But I decided, this was a really good idea in the 90s, and I just recently moved back to Florida, and water quality wasn't any better than when I'd left. It had gone downhill further. And I thought, instead of standing around going, nobody's doing anything about this, these politicians and this and that, why don't I do something about it? Because I do have this idea that's not far away from being usable. So I kind of brought it back around.
So where are these mini reefs installed generally?
Generally, they're underneath a boat dock or small pier, generally in a canal system. Canal systems being a man-made waterway, they're great for boats. They're not very good for life. As they age, they become more and more polluted and support less and less life. But the mini reef is able to start, turning that around by creating that ecosystem in there and helping filter some of the water, giving young life a place to live. So we concentrate on that because that's something that was destroyed in the past to be created, a man-made environment like that. And we're trying to replace some of that ecosystem that we lost sometimes 75 years ago when that area was developed.
So tell us a little about what's actually going on when the water is being filtered. So I know bivalves, cockle shells, oysters, things like that, bring water in and filter it. But what's going on across the entire ecosystem in a mini reef?
Well, most of the animals, are filter feeders, so they are bringing in all the single-celled organisms that cause things like the water to be green, red tides, brown tides, that people that live along the coast are familiar with. They feed on these microorganisms. That's their food source. So 24 hours a day, they breathe water in, pull all the food out of it, get the oxygen they need, and push we'll call filtered water. I mean, obviously there can still be some contaminants. They don't absorb everything, but that's what they do. But there are also macroalgae on the unit that will go and, just like the single-celled animals that we have, or single-celled organisms that we have too much of, that macroalgae will pull out of pollutants out of the water that's from us, from fertilizers, that kind of thing. And just like plants on land, they produce oxygen, so they help oxygenate the water in the area, really improve water quality quite a bit.
Now, a mini reef, is priced between about $200 or $300 and $700. What's the difference in capacity, or is it really more a matter of fit with the space that you're looking to fill?
Yeah, we came out with a larger unit primarily for more exposed locations where you're going to have more boat wake or wave action coming, when the wind is the right direction, that kind of thing. But also when we have a large dock, people who really wanted to fill their dock up with reefs, we've put as many as 100 mini reefs under one large dock. Having a bigger unit just made it faster to accomplish that.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Lego approach.
Yeah, they raft together. They can tie to one another, and they just kind of ride up and down in wave action, that type of thing, not really bumping into one another. So while the mini reef filters around 30,000 gallons a day and helps grow around 500, fish, shrimp, and crabs every year, the plus unit will filter more like 70,000 a day once it's developed, and grow around 1,100 fish, shrimp, and crabs. So you definitely get a little bit more bang for your dollar there. Obviously, not every dock can have larger units underneath of it. So
sure,
we're actually coming out with a smaller one because there are some tiny docks that even the mini reef can't go under. So there are certain dimensions that work for the mini reef, and so we're slowly filling those in as we go along.
and then the other question is, this. You've put it mostly in the Southeast, but could this work in other parts of the country? For instance, I'm speaking to you from the Seattle area. Would I be able to use this in a colder water environment as well?
Yeah, definitely. We have shipped units to California and Oregon. We've shipped them up the East Coast all the way to Maine. The primary issue is that you don't have a freeze over. Ice would definitely it would pull the units off of whatever they're attached to. So if it doesn't freeze, they'll still work. Colder the water, the slower the organisms grow. So the time scales of how long it takes to get them fully developed change a little bit. But 2 or 3 years down the line, they'll be doing the same thing that something in the tropics is doing. It'll just take them a little bit longer to get there, but they'll be full of life and producing more fish and helping filter the water.
So who generally purchases mini reefs? Is it the dock owner or boat owner who wants to put something on the dock where their boat is?
Yeah, primary purchasers for us are private residences. They're putting them under their dock in the back. It's so that when grandkids come to visit, they can actually catch some fish, something besides catfish. For some of the people are putting it in because they want to help the environment. They don't like seeing Jello in the water behind their house. Basically, when we have major bloom events.
Mhm.
We do also have city, county, state governments. The EPA has actually financed a few units through one of the national estuary program in Florida. They've installed some. So, we definitely get, corporate stuff like marinas, that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's private individuals who have waterfront property.
Now, when we were exchanging ideas prior to this recording, you also mentioned that there are some projects that our listeners might be able to support. So people, obviously, most people don't live on the water, but they are interested in helping to revitalize the ecosystems in waterways like this. Is there a way for somebody to visit your site and help install a mini reef with their financial support?
Yes, there is. We do have people who donate to have units built, and we add them onto projects. Like we have a project in the Sarasota, Florida area where we are putting a large number of units in with some other nonprofits to have University of South Florida and like Mote Marine Laboratories, do scientific research on the animals on them, that type of thing. How well do they interact with the environment and fight some of our problems? So on our website, we do have a page for donations. It's kind of a general donation area. You can kind of pick the amount you want, but all donations go towards putting more mini reefs, adding them onto orders that we already have going out.
And does the donor get some sort of confirmation of what happened with their money?
Yes, like as we have a project, when it is completed, everyone who donated extra units to that, we do like to send out some photographs and information about what's been done and how many extra units we put in the water because of people helping us out that way with the project.
So let's wrap this up with a couple of questions about how you've seen the environment change, the sea the ocean environment in the Southeast since you graduated from college all those years ago. What's going on? What's your perspective on our progress or failure to make progress in protecting those wetlands?
Well, unfortunately, it's definitely not good news. I moved to Florida in the early 90s. By the time I got out of college in the late 90s to today, there are far fewer fish in the sea. There are very few large, that you're reproducing large animals are hard to find. We have the intensity and frequency of things like red tide events and big algae blooms that really, clog up coastal waters have greatly increased over that time. It's gone from a rare event because of a busy hurricane season to kind of almost an annual event. Our coastal waters are definitely in decline and dying in Florida, which is why I, brought this product back out and got it finished, because something's got to be done before it's too late to do anything.
Well, David, that's great that you did that. That's discouraging to hear, but I think we can all help make a step forward. And I'd encourage everybody listening to take a look at OceanHabitatSinc.com. That's all one word, and Inc is INC. David Wolff, the founder of Mini Reefs and Ocean Habitats Inc. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me and helping spread the word about our work. I appreciate it a lot.
Keep it up, and do come back and tell us more about what's going on as you make progress.
I definitely will.
All right. Thank you. Folks, that was David Wolff. He's the founder of Ocean Habitats Incorporated. You can find that at OceanHabitatSinc.com. It's on a thing called the internet. And check out our podcast introduction article. We'll provide a couple of links to find out how to support investments in reef recovery down in the Southeast. This is Mitch Ratcliffe on Earth911's Sustainability in Your Ear. We'll be back with another innovator interview soon. Thanks, everybody, and take care of yourself and the planet.